What's up, guys? Chris, VA Travels. I'm out here in Culpeper, Virginia, about to visit the Culpeper History Museum. Looks pretty nice. It's inside of an old train depot, and I'm going to be out here the next couple days knocking out some sites. I'm going to be in Madison County tomorrow, so yeah, I'm going to grab my lunch. Found some egg salad up at the 7-Eleven, and of course drink my Red Bull and check this place out. Alright, so this is also the visitor center on the left here. Museum to the right, and like I say, old train depot. Looks like they've got that caboose closed off, but here we go. Culpeper County Museum. The Minutemen, Culpeper Minutemen. Culpeper holds tomorrow by the hand. Bicentennial 1959. Culpeper was visited by America's poet Walt Whitman during the American Civil War. He volunteered as a nurse for the Army of the Potomac. I don't know if this guy's French or kind of a mosaic here. I'm sure there were some fossils found. Old drugstore. It looks like these might be some African American women. The Minutemen, like I say. Civil War. Some ladies right there. Is that a fox behind them? Baseball. There's Clara Barton right there. And looks like an old businessman in front of a cornfield. And there's Walt Whitman right there. Virginia State bird, the cardinal. Alright, check this place out. Alright, here we go. Take the tour. And baseball in Culpeper. Old leather glove of an African American player. Oh, wow. Very old camera, don't all. Pretty neat. Jameson. And this baseball player, Epple Rixley. And he held the record for most wins by a lefty for 29 years up until 1959. So, there you go. And pretty fancy cash register. You are allowed to touch. I hit the buttons like it says, but nothing happens. And when they dug out the quarry back in 1989, they found dinosaur tracks about 250 feet down. And they painted up this water truck at the time. Found almost 5,000 tracks. And they found, they think, pteropod, this parasuchian, and this painting over here, that's Lake Culpeper, and pteropod, there's that parasuchian, that alligator type creature. And over here, how they measure the stride, maybe to tell how tall they are. And their running speed. And some geology. Chesapeake Bay, of course. Is that the Potomac? So here would be the Rappahannock. Here's the fall line. So I guess Fredericksburg would be right there. The Culpeper Basin. So, alright. Moving along. And a diorama of something. It doesn't say what. Over here, some artifacts. I see a watch, horseshoe, a couple locks, belt buckles, axe head, and a dinosaur driving that thing. Alright, and these are in better condition. Buttons, mini balls, another belt buckle. There is a pocket knife back there. Pretty neat. Over here, some brown jasper. And Native Americans would use this to make their arrowheads. And there he is, Alexander Spotswood. set up Fort Germanna out here, and he had the big Knights of the Golden Horseshoe Expedition. He pretty much settled Western Virginia, the Blue Ridge, and the Shenandoah Valley. And yeah, big expedition, 63 men. And the story goes, it wasn't really a grueling expedition. It was almost like a big party that every time they would discover a new creek, a new pass, a new mountain, they would pull out some wine and celebrate. But yeah. Of course, you've got all your arrowheads. I don't know how they date these like that, but anyway, yes, Salubria, I did a video on that. Historic home not too far from here. It's east on Route 3, going back towards Spotsylvania. And it was built 1775 by Reverend John Thompson, and he married the widow of Alexander Spotswood. Some old dominoes. Pretty neat. Okay, and yeah, back in the 1700s, you pretty much had to make your own bricks. There's a brick mold. You would go down to the local creek or river, gather clay, plop it in there, let it dry out. And the famous John Smith map right here, which is fairly accurate. And the Manahoacs were local. Okay, and John Smith, he made his way up the Rappahannock River, looking for that Western Passage, had to stop at the falls in Fredericksburg, got out on a little expedition, and he got into a tussle with the Manahoacs. And Rapidan breaking off the Rappahannock. Fredericksburg would be kind of back this way. Culpeper would be down here. And I point it out every time I'm at one of these places, but this is the famous John White. This is one of his drawings, and this is one of his paintings. John White was part of the expedition out there, the Lost Colony of Roanoke, down there in North Carolina. He led the third expedition where he showed up and everybody had disappeared. But anyway, he was an artist, and he painted these. And yeah, that's what Algonquins looked like at the time. Over here, a whale vertebrae, and that had to have been traded. I've seen these a little ways up the Rappahannock, but a whale obviously wouldn't have gone this far up the upriver. And just talking about trade. And then here's a Minuteman. Must be the Culpeper Militia. And there he is right here, Culpeper Minutemen. Famous militia out here. And Salubria again. And yeah, it's a very nice home. I would suggest taking a tour if you can. Oh, little side note, Betty Washington, who lived in Fredericksburg at the Kenmore Plantation. George Washington, obviously his sister, she moved out here later in life, died here in Culpeper. I won't go through all that, but yeah, you had your Virginia Tea Party in Yorktown. Obviously the big one was in Boston, but you had tea parties in New York, kind of all up and down the East Coast. And yeah, the famous Culpeper Militia. Yeah, well, there's a train going by. Pretty neat, Amtrak. Yeah, Culpeper Militia. Like I say, Minutemen. And over here, I'm going to visit this tomorrow, the Burgundine House. And Salubria is the oldest brick building in Culpeper. And this is supposed to be just the oldest building. It goes back to 1739, they think. And some odds and ends. And this talks about the Germanna Fort, settled, like I say, Alexander Spotswood, 1714. He brought over a bunch of German immigrants. The first wave of immigrants stayed just a couple years. They moved a little up north. They brought over a second wave of German immigrants, and they were basically hijacked. They were supposed to go to Pennsylvania. There was some shenanigans involved with the ship's captain and Alexander Spotswood, and they ended up taking them down here kind of against their will. But, all right. In a mahogany desk. This guy, Nathan Patrick, out of Halifax County. And the Culpeper Female Institute, founded 1867. Yeah, so this is an actual, still active train station. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And it eventually became the home of that baseball player I had mentioned earlier, Eppo Rixley. He lived there as a boy. So, and over here, this is A.P. Hill, lived here as a boy, moved here when he was 4 years old. Moved into this house here. And yeah, just some pieces off of it. It was the Stevens house. And then after the Civil War, the Hill family lived in it up until the Civil War. And then it became a tavern. No, I'm sorry. It became a drugstore. Yeah. All right, pretty cool. All right. And then, all right, getting into some Civil War stuff. But I'll follow these arrows. Bicentennial, back in 1959, and Queen Jackie was crowned. Jacqueline Morton Bragg. There's a courthouse. Okay, antebellum period, Promise and Progress, Commerce. And 1840, the Waverly Hotel. And that was a popular eatery for guests, stopping off the Orange and Alexandria rail line in Keysville. I took a train from Keysville to Richmond when I was a kid. Old steam train. And yeah, Marquis de Lafayette. He stayed with Judge John William Green at the Greenwood home on his big tour, 1825. And the Culpeper Gazette, the county's first newspaper, established 1827. All right, and this is William Extra Billy Smith, or Billy Extra Billy Smith. And this guy's a character. I visited the ruins of his birth home in King George County. It was called Office Hall. And yeah, he was quite a character. He was two-time Virginia governor, once for the United States and once for the Confederacy. The last couple of years of the war, he was Virginia governor. And yeah, he's got quite a story. He ran a stagecoach line in Virginia before the war. He went out to San Francisco during the gold rush, made a lot of money. His son died on a trade expedition on his way to China, and he took a search party out looking for him. So yeah, he's buried over at the Hollywood Cemetery. And down here, this guy, N. Willis Madden. There were 429 freed blacks in Culpeper before the war. And he was the most prosperous. He owned a store, blacksmith shop, wheelwright, and tavern from 1840 to 1865. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, an ugly period in history when vigilante justice had always gone on, but yeah, it was a lot. It was, they definitely would target African Americans, and there were 3 lynchings here in Culpeper. All right, just talking about the economy. And over here, Culpeper debates secession. And obviously South Carolina was the first to leave. And then Virginia left. We left 1817, and that was our second vote. The first vote, we voted not to leave the Union, but about a week before that was Fort Sumter, and after that, everybody voted yeah to jump ship. And this guy here, L.C. Morris, he enlisted in 1861 at the Madison Courthouse. He was a nurse at the Chimborazo Hotel in Richmond. And this is kind of an unknown woman. Photo was taken around that time. Some little characters being painted up. Camp life, summer of 1862. And yeah, Battle of Cedar Mountain, kind of a precursor to the Second Battle of Manassas. And there were pretty much four. Okay, Battle of Kelly's Ford, and this is Major John Pelham. His highlight was the Battle of Fredericksburg, his big assault that morning, December 13th, 1862. But yeah, he ended up dying at the Battle of Kelly's Ford. A shell exploded right near his head, and a fragment hit him in the back of the head. So, yeah, so there was a lot of action in Culpeper, the Civil War. Like I say, Cedar Mountain, Kelly's Ford, Brandy Station, Battle of Culpeper Courthouse. And, yeah, all your usual stuff, bayonets, canteens. 34 is a grease bucket. Yeah, your shells. And your revolvers, horse bit. Yeah, Brandy Station, Jeb Stewart. Yeah, okay. Battle of Culpeper Courthouse. No custard. Okay, big map here. Yeah, like I say, all the big battles. And yeah, they camped out Brandy Station. There he is, AP Hill again. There's a pretty good painting up there. Battle of Cedar Mountain. Renewal, revival, rebuild after the war. And the third courthouse, built 1870. This is a mill at Raccoon Ford, 1897. Kirby's Blacksmith Shop. And this lady here, Ann Slaughter Wingfield, teacher, private school advocate, taught at school number 1. And her career spanned 50 years. Okay, here's that guy again, L.C. Morris. Crazy in Culpeper, all right. Alright guys, that's it for the Culpeper History Museum. Tickets are $5 if you don't live in Culpeper County. So, anyway, like and subscribe.